my younger or newly discovered INTJs. This video is specifically for you. What I won't be talking about is cognitive functions, because that's literally everywhere. Instead, I want to make a video for you that I wished when I was younger was out there. And it's basically just a real person being a real person. It's amazing how that can really make a difference in someone's life. Instead of only talking about what things are statistically, when people cannot be chalked up to statistics, like, we don't work like that. We cry and we get angry and we have traumas and we have fears and we have insecurities, and being an INTJ does not spare you from all of that. Now, we can delude ourselves, and most of us do or have, depends on where we are in our emotional maturity. We can delude ourselves into thinking things don't bother us, people don't bother us. It's all stupid out there. We could develop a lot of bitter anger and resentment, especially when you're young and you're trying to date and they're all the same and everyone's all the same and you're looking around at everyone repeating the same mistakes. How do you not know that this person's cheating on you? I knew it within the first 3 seconds of meeting them. How do you not know? It can be hard being an INTJ. Hard like taming a fire-breathing dragon in a world where dragons don't even freaking exist. It can be hard because we see things and we know things, and it's not because we're psychic. It's just because we pay attention without meaning to. We cannot turn it off. Always analyzing, always looking, always searching, always curious, always learning about something. And that goes straight into our connections with other people. Trying to be friends with someone when you're seeing patterns in their behavior and they're not can be infuriating. It can be infuriating. Trying to date people and always being able to tell if they're playing games, that they're holding something back, they're not saying something. Maybe you don't know what that thing is, but you can tell. You can see it, you know it. And sometimes it doesn't matter what that thing could be. We're immediately not interested because of it. Being able to just look at someone and know how they feel, but not from an empathetic point of view, but because we look at them and it's obvious, it's clear, it's how they talk, it's how they stand, it's how they move their eyes, and we just know. And not being able to relay that to other people is frustrating and irritating. So for you, my young INTJs and new INTJs, you may have been told that you're cold or unemotional, that you're not very romantically aware, that there's something wrong with you because you didn't cry watching the sad scene in Rant. Your choir teacher may even develop a whole song for you and sing it at your graduation. Why so sad, Nikki? And you don't feel embarrassed by it, but it can be frustrating because you're sitting there in your chair during your own graduation thinking, I'm sad because of this shit right here. You may have friends tell you that you are insensitive, that you don't care about their feelings. You don't care about anyone's feelings. They may even tell you that you don't have feelings. But then you may sit there at night and just feel confused. What do you mean I don't have feelings? I'm sad all the time because I'm having to deal with this shit. For my INTJ females out there, you may find yourself very interested in dating, at least at one point in your life maybe. Or you just meet someone and you're not necessarily interested in dating, but you're interested in dating this person. They've piqued your interest. But you can tell that they're not being honest with you. You can tell they're trying to show off, that they want to seem cool. And if you have tattoos or piercings and you wear all black, they may tell you that they can see your aura because they think that you're into witchcraft and not realize that you're technically atheist, maybe agnostic, don't really like labels, curious about everything, have beliefs, but still open to others' beliefs. And if that person was a witch, they might not have realized you would have been interested to hear about it, to hear them talk about it. But instead, you know they're full of crap. They don't. They think that you're goth and you're quiet, so you must be into witchcraft. Or maybe you stick it out with someone for a really long time, and your partner is like, oh, thank God, a woman that will take care of everything. I don't have to do anything. They'll do everything for me. And you think to yourself, they must have me confused with an ENTJ, and then you dip out. But for any INTJ out there, regardless of what your story may be, one thing that I think most of us are going to have in common is the stereotypes that we just cannot shake free of. The stereotypes that for a lot of us are confusing, and that for others we might even own. Yeah, I am the smartest person in the room. Maybe if you weren't so stupid, but regardless of gender and where we're from, and what support system we may or may not have around us, I think most of us at some point in our lives are going to feel a little bit of bitter resentment. Some of us, it takes over, and we become those stereotypes. We become devoid of emotion because we've deluded ourselves into thinking, we don't need you, and we don't need you, and we don't need that. Who needs emotions? Is it a seasoning on a piece of steak? If it's not, I'm not interested in it, don't want it, don't like it. No. Being an INTJ is not your entire personality, but it does have to do with the way we think and take in the world around us, and unfortunately, also how the world may take us in as well. When you're just sitting there not saying anything for 30 minutes, staring into space, people tend to have opinions about that. And they might even sing you a song that they made for you at your high school graduation because of it. But it's important to note that no one on this planet is held responsible for the things that happen to us, to you, when we're children, but we cannot carry that bitter resentment with us around. All the failed relationships, the failed friendships, the difficulty with connecting with others, we're not the only people on this planet, meaning INTJs, we're not the only people on this planet. Editor Nikki popping in just to say that we INTJs would very much like to be the only people on this planet, but that's not what I'm talking about here. You would be surprised to find that there is another personality type out there whose story is similar to yours. When you lay under the stars and you look up, don't let your brain convince you you are the only person that exists, or you are the only person that feels how you feel, because I promise it's not true. And I wish I could say, as you age, connecting with people and operating in a world that wants you to be a dog when you're a cat. It gets easier, but it doesn't. But when you are an adult, when you're older and you're making your own money and you're supporting yourself and you rely on no other person other than yourself, you have the choices of where you go and what you do. If you have an office job and that boss does not appreciate you, doesn't like you, there's gossiping behind your back, you have no idea what anyone is saying because it's basically just a high school. You're an adult now, you don't have to stay there and deal with it. It's not as easy as just being yourself and everything will work out. I know that. You know that. Most people know that. It's not as easy as that. You can genuinely not care what people in general think and still care what people think. Because it's the people that are closest to us that cause that pain, that cause us to feel misunderstood. And some of them don't even mean to, they don't realize it. And others, it is on purpose, and you're not held responsible for that. So basically, I just wanted to make sort of like a diary entry or something like that to all of my INTJs, especially my younger INTJs, who you haven't had a chance to be yourself and flourish in the way that you're meant to be. You are still fighting an invisible, imaginary, fire-breathing dragon every step you take. You're still trying to figure out how to take the words that you say and make it make sense because you speak in a lot of abstract metaphors. You may still look around at all of your friends dating and be disgusted, or just not understand how your friend doesn't know that she's being cheated on. And you may tell the friend she's being cheated on and be confused on why it's not obvious, and now you lost a friend. It's hard. It's hard to turn your brain off. It's hard to turn who you are off to fit into a world, fit into a society that just doesn't understand it, doesn't get it. And I wish I could say it gets easier, but I'm afraid it's something you'll have to make easier by accepting who you are, but not being afraid to be who you are and all the repercussions that may come from that.